Good evening. It's Friday at 6 o'clock out here in California. This is the World According to Top Gun, Putting Your Opponent on a Hand, Part 2. All right, so these last two YouTubes on putting your opponent on a hand are applied. The theory was covered in On Winning Poker, Part 1, where I talked about exploitative play. That is, you're not playing your hand, you're playing your opponent's hand. All right. Most players are playing their hand. They're trying to hit something. They're trying to make a hand. Okay. But we all make hands sometimes, and I talked about that on Winning Poker too, how to get value when you make a hand. But the great players, the really good ones, are playing exploitative play. They're not as much worried about their hand, as they're worried about their opponent's hand, and if they can push their opponent off a marginal hand. And so that's what I just did in another hand. So I raised in early position with King Jack offsuit. I got a caller in later position, and one of the blinds called. Flop came down Queen 2-7 all hearts. Check, I check, and then the button, I think it was, made a substantial bet into the pot. Now I'm thinking he's just making a position bet, right? He's thinking, well, I check, so I don't have anything, and so he's just making a position bet and trying to take down the pot. So he had about $6 in his hand. He bet 72 cents, I think it was, or 71 cents. I raised him to about 3x, like a 265 or something like that. Basically trying to get him to either fold or go all in. So if he goes all in, I fold, and I just get out of the right because I have king high with no heart. I have nothing. Now he does something interesting, and he just calls. So now I'm like, oh wow, what does he have? What's he just calling with? So I'm thinking, he could have a queen, and he's just scared. He's scared of a flush. He's a very tight player. He could have a flush, and he's trapping me. But most likely he doesn't, right? Because if let's say he has 9-10 of hearts or 8-9 of hearts, he doesn't want another heart to come out because then someone with a higher heart has a better flush. So he most likely doesn't have a flush. So he could have a queen, or he could have the ace of hearts, and he's hoping to hit another heart. And so the next card is the 4 of spades, and I check, and he checks. Now, if he's trapping me with a flush, okay, or he has a queen, I think he's going all in right there. So now I'm pretty sure he has the ace of hearts. So as long as the hearts doesn't come out on the river, I'm going all in on the river. And the river is the 10 of spades. I go all in, he folds. So I can almost guarantee you that he had the ace of hearts, or possibly, if he's a bad player, the king of hearts, right? Because the queen of hearts was on the board. So again, this is an applied example of exploitative play. He's playing his hand. I'm playing my hand, but I'm also really playing his hand. And that's what makes me play at a higher level than him and makes me able to crush these types of, and this is how most recreational players play. And this mindset and this strategy will allow you to crush almost all recreational players.